Parents, I'm going to show you how to put up the violin on your child. And first of all, I'll show you what we're going to be aiming for. We want the neck of the violin to go horizontal, not scroll down and not scroll up, but straight across. We want this back part of the violin, where the chin rest is, to be pretty much horizontal. Then because of the curvature of the violin, the part that's on their chest will tip forward a little bit. So this part here should be quite horizontal. We want this horizontal part of the violin to go right up on top of their shoulder. So we don't want the whole violin to be on their chest because gravity will keep tipping it off. And we don't want it right up on top of their shoulder like this because that's too far. But just the back part of the violin on top of their shoulder. It usually turns out that the back of the violin will be about in line with their shoulder seam, or maybe even slightly behind. And we want the violin itself to be snug up to their neck, no gap here because it's hard to get their chin onto the chin rest, so snug up to the neck. To put the violin up on your child, hold the violin with your right hand underneath around its little narrow waist so that you can manipulate it. Now I'll ask my little helper to come on. This works best if you're about the same level as the child, so if you're working with a very small child, I'd kneel down on the floor in front of them or sit on a chair like this. Now take the violin underneath on its narrow part and ask your child to stand in playing position with their feet about shoulder distance apart, their knees a little bit soft, and their body balanced and head right up on top. If you're working with a very little child and their hands keep going out to the violin like that, I would just take hold of their left hand with my left hand to keep it out of the way and keep holding it. Now we're going to roll the violin up onto their left shoulder so that this part of the violin that we want to be horizontal is sitting right on top of their shoulder and it's snugly up to their neck. Then we'll get your child to turn their head a little and nod their chin down onto the chin rest so that their head is still vertical, nodded down a little but vertical. And keep hold of the violin unless you know your child is ready for you to let go. We don't want to drop it. This is looking pretty good because the neck is horizontal and this back part of the violin is quite horizontal as well. If the violin was sitting here, that's going to be really hard to hold, and this would be too far up. It's hard to get onto the chin rest, so we want it about there so that it's the whole jawbone here which is lying in the chin rest. If your child's head is lolling off is going to sleep on the violin like this, just nudge their head back vertical, and if it's coming off this way, also just nudge it back so it's vertical. Are you ready for me to let go?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Good. When you put the violin up on your child's shoulder, think about which direction the scroll is pointing, and if you imagine a straight line going through your child's shoulders and directly out their sides, we want the scroll to be pointing just slightly forward of that line.